I don't like musicals. There's too much singing in them.
I know.
Yeah. Like, there should be a delicate balance. But when you're singing every word.
But in a musical, you keep making it seem like somebody's like, this is a movie. It wasn't a talkie. It was a musical. That's what kills me. People are like, I'm going to see this musical. That was too much music, though. It's called a musical. They're not joking. They're going to be like, I wonder why. I wonder why. Like, they're going to sing that shit because it's a musical.
Can't you have a musical where there's music that's playing beneath the scene all the time? Yeah, it's yes. There's just
musical is a play where you are singing the lines. I don't know. I think it's just Black people that do this because they're used to stage plays. So they will call, people are sweating and tapping, and they're like, yeah, we're going to see a play. No, bitch, you're about to see a musical. You're about to be mad.
Even in those productions, it's like there's a balance. There's some talking and there's some singing. But like with everything, like Phantom of the Opera, no fucking way. I hate that thing. I'm like, will they shut the fuck up? Like, I didn't come here to hear all this singing.
Stop going to musicals and expecting people to talk to you. I don't understand that. Only niggas do that. Yeah. We're going to see this musical. Why the fuck they don't want to stop singing?
I'm expecting a musical like fucking Elvis Presley. You know, there's some scenery, there's some build-up.
Elvis Presley. The movies that he was in?
Those were musicals.
Those were movies.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, musical. Sound of Music, musical. Talking, leading up to a song. We break from that shit. We talk some more. Then we go into song. This nonstop singing.
Let's say this. If you are going to open yourself up to musicals, you need to know that there is a spectrum. Okay. So there are some musicals that are very artistic. There are some that you just notice that there's something a little different. They're singing every now and then. Then there are some that are like, welcome to the opening, the first scene, where they're literally like reading the stage directions. They're singing stage directions. Like, and that's like, we are musicals. Like that's just all it's going to be. Hollywood musicals tended to be movies with a lot of music in them. But I find that if you are going and you're sitting down, there's going to be intermission and the people are right there, the motherfuckers about to sing you to sleep or to death. One of them.
Even at the little play that I took my kid to, The Incredible Book Eating Boy, it was a musical. They talked. They spoke. Then they had a little song. Then they spoke.
It is a range, friend.
Anyway.
That's a musical that didn't have Asperger's. Let's put it like that. Welcome to Rappin' Atlanta. I'm Nita Sharice.
And I'm Nikki.
And in this podcast, we have a frank, honest, and open conversation about the FX show Atlanta.
We have noticed that there are similar features in each show, and during our discussion, we offer our impressions on what those features are. There's a That's So Atlanta moment in each episode that most clearly and accurately depicts the spirit or quirk that is Atlanta and life in the American South.
Dariusisms highlight the special flavor the character Darius brings to the show because he is easily one of the most layered, complex, and compelling characters on television.
There always seems to be a mystical element or some strange thing that happens beyond all logical reason and sometimes scientific explanation. We've all experienced those kinds of moments.
And finally, the SGR moment is very plainly the moment in each show when shit got real and we are reminded that life is not a game and desperation has the power to motivate any and every possible action.
Today, we're reviewing Season 4, Episode 5, Work Ethic. This episode was written by Janine Nabers and directed by Donald Glover. Van gets a sobering taste of the show business scene when she visits a local prominent studio.
I love this episode.
Yeah, this was fun. It's a fun episode because I didn't even think about coverage of Tyler Perry. I just didn't even think about it.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't have a show about Atlanta and not mention Tyler Perry Studios, or reference it in some kind of way. And this was just so much fun.
It was perfect. It was like, I picked up on it very, very early. When did you realize, like, oh, okay, like that's what's happening? Like how early?
The Billboard. When the Billboard, and in fact, I did the link in the show notes about there was a real woman who did do that, a billboard for Tyler Perry.
Not surprised.
To get hired.
Yeah, I saw that and was like, oh my goodness, is this gonna? And then it was just confirmed when just like little hints that were dropped, like as she walked in and you know, and things like that. And then super solidified when they start saying like, yeah, like on the John Witherspoon stage. And I was like, okay, yeah. Because the stages are named after
celebrities.
People, yeah.
Link in the show notes. Yeah. It was so much fun. So just starting from the top. So Van is interesting. She couldn't get a sitter for Lottie. She really wanted Lottie to come with her. I'm not sure I would have brought Lottie with me or either of my children on the set unless I wanted them to actually be in the production.
I definitely
There's no way. Because there's just too much stuff that happens on on film sets. And between like...
you can't watch them every single second and be engaged in the thing that they are paying you for.
Yeah. So it seemed really out of character. And in that respect, I'm just like, okay, you've been saying this a lot where you're wondering if this is all Donald Glover's dream. And the fact that he does indeed show up in the in the episode in the most ridiculous...
Immediately I was like, what is this?
Is this real? Like, okay, so
but I also thought about season 3, episode 10. And like the kind of break that she had.
Yeah.
And how, yes, it's about her life and things like that, but a big part of it was Lottie. And like, you know, like that really like touched me because it's like, yeah, I thought like all of these things. And I'm wondering if, you know, we don't get a sense of how long she was gone, but she was also gone away from Lottie for a while. She went through her thing. Maybe now she's kind of like swinging the other way where it's like, I'm going to be with you. You're going to be with me. Like it's you and me, kid. Because you got to think she left her for a long time.
Okay.
And that Lottie was with her parents, but remember, she was kind of having a come apart about like, what am I doing? And what snapped her out of pretending to be some random French woman was somebody saying to her, "Is this something like? Is this what you want for Lottie?" Or like, "What about Lottie?" You remember that's what brought her like, "Oh my God!" And then we find out about that moment that she had. So I was thinking what you were thinking too. And then I was like, but she might just be swinging back the other way to where she's like, I want you with me all the time. And I kind of think it's solidified by what she says to her at the end. She's like, I'm not going to always be there to protect you. So like, I'm trying to tell you this. So I don't know. I thought maybe she was like, I'm a mother, like just kind of, because she could certainly have dropped her off.
I never want to sit in judgment of any other mom because like, I don't know what your struggle is. And I cannot understand your momhood as it relates to mine. We're just going to have different experiences. So more power to you, like however you get through. But I also like, would I have done that as a mom? I have to like investigate that with myself, you know? So I guess I just wonder like, cause I have 2 boys. So if I dress a certain way, I can't do anything. I'm like, I cannot protect them if I'm dressed a certain way, you know? And it's not out of like the fact that I don't want to be attractive. Yeah, I want to be attractive, you know, when I go out, whether the boys are with me or not. But at the same time, if I'm worried about a titty popping out because I got on the wrong shirt, if I'm trying to chase the boys down to make sure that they don't roll off on a shopping cart because they've turned it into a car in their minds, you know, So I was just like, okay, she's coming to the set, she's acting and everything. So I guess she does look like a model. She's, makeup free, but a lot of cleavage, and she was
gorgeous. But yeah, it did look like, were you babysitting for? Because I thought Lottie was the one that was acting. I thought
that's what I thought. Yeah,
like, I was sitting on the side. Yeah,
that's what I thought. So I was just like, yeah, and especially if I feel like if I had a daughter, I wouldn't. Every man that interacted with us out in public better be fucking polite. They better be polite. They better be gentlemen, And so for me, in order to cut down on interacting with anyone who may not be a gentleman, I'm going to dress as conservatively. I probably wouldn't have on makeup. Maybe if we were both cute together in the accompaniment of dad or boyfriend, as it were, then I might take a few more liberties. And it's a shame that I have to think that way.
You don't have to think about that.
No, I shouldn't. But I'm also like, Van, you're like, yeah, you're giving me, I don't have kids vibe, or I haven't been out with my daughter vibe, because I just wouldn't dress that way. And also I wouldn't want to make any suggestions about who I might want in my life or allow to be in my life and have access to her, like if I'm
thinking, but not everybody thinks like that. Yeah. And I chalk that up to like age of mother.
I don't know. Like but she's not so much younger. Like is she late 20s, early 30s?
That's enough to be completely different. As you always like to point out, the guys are middle-aged. That's so funny that this has happened. Guys, off mic, there was a convo. That's all. No, but I mean, it's a lot. I find that once you get to like more than 8 years, it's like, oh, you're in a different generation. It's just the truth.
Okay. Yeah. Again, she looked beautiful. She was out like doing her thing on her own. Yeah. But there's no way I would have dressed like that, even going to a movie set with my child, my male or female child, because I'm just thinking about like the world is ugly. And she knows that because she has that sensibility.
Some of these people, they don't apply it to their. I just think that it is like, you have been on the earth longer and shit happens. And so I'm going to be proactive. And other people, no shade, not to say she's not a good mother. Like you said, like no judgment, but everybody doesn't think that. Because then on the flip side, there's also a point when you're a mother that you're like, I need to look like myself. Like it has been all about this, like, I'm a mother, I'm not dead. Kind of thing. Exactly. Doesn't mean that everybody I look at, I want to get back to me. And she looked like her.
Well, I'm a practical type of person. I think there's a time and a place. And just knowing what I know about movie sets, and obviously she knows the same thing, and then just knowing what I know about the world, and she knows what kind of attention she gets. She's gorgeous, So anyway, she goes in. Well, she first gets through security. They check it. He checking bags. He right off bat, I'm like, does he know what he's doing? Because like even the way she checked her purse and everything.
Yeah, he wasn't really like purposely like, I'm looking for this and this. Like there didn't seem to be a checklist in his head.
Yeah, it's just like he was
like, what kind of lipstick she use?
Yeah. and we see more like he was being nosy, and then also like removing all the books from the bag and whatnot. I'm like, okay.
But that I kind of got. I was like, I thought it was weird when he was about to let her go. I'm like, he's not gonna check the backpack if she was up to some
I'm like, why not check the trunk? That's why I'm like, you're just checking bags. Why not check the trunk of the car and whatnot? Like, there's all types of places where I could stash a weapon if I wanted to bring it in. It could have been in a glove box.
I guess maybe I was thinking about the bag because I have had to search backpacks before, but I was able to check that backpack. Parents be putting all kind of stuff because it's like, oh, you're not going to check this because it's for the kid. And he was about to like let her go. I'm like, he's not. You going to check that little bitty purse she had, but not that big ass backpack. So I kind of didn't think that it was weird, but I had to look for weapons before in backpacks. So
okay. I just think
there's so many little compartments. Like this was for the water bottle, but it also fits a big knife. So
yes,
yeah,
I understand that. But I was just like, if you're so concerned about weapons being snuck in, then check the entire vehicle.
Yeah,
because a weapon could be easily hidden anywhere, which is why we get shot by cops all the time because we hide weapons everywhere, apparently.
Inside of cell phones. Oh, not funny, but okay.
Yes. So she gets in, and this must be like early in the morning, which, when we went to Price is Right, how early did we get there? We got there pretty early, did we?
It was pretty early, but it wasn't dark. But if you are on a set for stuff, I think it makes sense for it to be that early. Plus, the running thread is this nigga shoots a million things.
Yeah.
So if he can get like whole series done, like I provided a link where one of his shows, he shot like 17 episodes or something like that in 4 days. So just think about if he's starting at 4:00 in the morning, how much more?
As she's walking to the studio before she gets in the lobby, remember like the little attendant, the tour guide who's saying, "This is Kirkwood Chocolate's office. No one gets in or out." Like out.
Yeah.
Like, is it a dungeon? Like, does he not come out?
Well, why is no one pushing back on this? Everybody's like, like,
it's like, oh, those rich
guys have to follow up.
I think people expect rich people to be weird, because they can afford to be weird, or their money makes them weird. I don't know, but they're allowed to get away with so much stuff because rich people are supposed to be weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's like, oh well, he has so much money, and this is why, which is really not okay.
No, it's not okay. It's definitely not okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So she gets through security and then she's waiting in the lobby. And that guy is just having the loudest conversation. But did you also notice like the
disturbing conversation too? Like just put the body in it. It was disturbing. Hope they checked his car.
But then also the lady, how she was rehearsing with her daughter, it was definitely like a studio lobby or a actors or talent lobby.
And he notices Van because of course he does. And what I thought was funny was she tells me that her name is Denise, and then they call Vanessa, and I was like, Cosby Show? Like that's the first thing I thought. Like that was really random. I immediately was like, no, Denise, Vanessa. I don't know if that was on purpose or not, but that was just funny to me. So
I don't know why she looked like it could have been. They could have been calling either her or the child's name. So I just would have been like, yeah, I'm Denise. That's Vanessa.
Van was weird in this. Like, this is another sounds like I'm judging him. I guess I kind of am, but how you leave the snacks in the car?
I don't know, because she's got that big ass bag.
The big bag.
And the backpack. It's full of books, but no snacks.
Which gives me Lottie probably just, she got her bag together, but you're supposed to then say, all right, open it up and put the snacks in. Like Zoe gets her stuff together too. Like, all right, bring the stuff, and then I kind of check over it because sometimes it's like, why are you bringing this? Leave this here. This is it. I'm bringing this mug. Why? No, just stop it. Or like little tiny toys that she's going to want me to go back and look for. So I get that, but it's like, so you never glance at the bag to drop the Teddy Grahams or the Cheez-Its or the whatever it is. And she's like, I think I left them in the car. And she didn't sound like she was going to go get them. It's like, yeah. Did you think you were going to be here for a while? I just feel like when you're shooting, you need to kind of be like, and that's my day.
Oh, it was
just strange to me.
That is weird that she wouldn't have made sure she packed the snacks up for her kid. But has she been on a set before or has she not? Because she kept saying that this was her first time on a set.
Yeah, it was her first time, but you got a kid with you.
But also there's craft services. And some of the craft services be hottest. I mean, it's really good food.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like when you have a child, and granted, I've had this since before I had a kid, but there's a thing of like, yeah, they might have this, but it's always good to just always have your own.
Yeah.
Kids will be like, I'm not eating things with lines in it today. It's just like, bring the stuff that you know that they're going to eat.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll have some lagniappe. I mean, it's always better to have extra and not, I don't know. That was weird to me.
I get it. Yeah. I don't know. It just didn't mesh well. Maybe it was meant to not mesh well. It's Tyler Perry-ish, right? Because sometimes his scripts do not fucking make sense. He's writing all of them by himself because he doesn't have a writer's room. I've posted a link about that.
Work ethic. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He just has this great work ethic where he's just spinning out scripts. They don't have to make sense, and not all they have to do is be finished. And the thing is, as much as I hate that, it has worked for him because he's a billionaire and I am not. So I'm like, okay, he never let.
We can still be mad if we want to.
He never let the enemy of done. So, I mean, there's something to say for that. All I'm saying, these poster names on the wall, hilarious. Ain't crazy, still ain't crazy.
Still ain't crazy.
The Captain Colonel. Now, did they mean to say like Colonel, like an actual Colonel spelled Colonel, or like
Captain Cornell, like my name is Cornell Jenkins.
Colonel. And then I pause it, and the caption is he's just a little corny.
It's all those things because you're spelling Captain Colonel with those two L's like that. That's Cornell. So it's like, you see, it works on multiple levels. # work ethic. and then to just have the very normal name of just single father. It was like, that was which I was like, is this that Kevin Hart movie? Because he has a Netflix movie that probably could never watch again because the beginning of it is too fucking dramatic. But like, he's an unexpected single father. It's pretty serious.
But you know that Tyler Perry did do that. Was it with Idris Elba, where he was the single father of 3 daughters?
Daddy's little girls. Yeah. With Gabrielle Union. Yeah. That was like when he was still he was Stringer Bell and he was in a position to do a Tyler Perry film. Because notice, I don't think he's done any more since then. Because he's not stupid. Is she in hair and makeup after that point? Because they laid it to the back.
Yeah, she's in the back, and that's where you see the one stylist take that like ridiculous wig off of that dude wearing a wife beater.
Yeah, wasn't it cornrows?
Was it?
Okay, there has been like a hat of Shamar Moore's horrible wig, and was that Diary of that? There's been so many think pieces that I'm like, that's what that is doing. That's the cornrow wig. Because I remember pointing that out to my parents, like, this wig is horrible. And they were like, that's a wig? I was like, yeah. But of course they wouldn't know. Like, they focused in on that. And I'm like, that's Shamar Moore. Because what he wore in that entire movie was wife beater, horrible cornrow wig, and Tim's. It's the same thing that Idris Elba wore, except he had something thrown over his wife beater. But that is his version of like, this is a black man.
Yeah, or this is the hero. This is the hero black man.
And which is why I feel like Shameik from New Orleans had a wife beater on.
Yeah. It was that when we get to the certain point in the show, I like, okay, we see what all of these decisions were made purposefully. He was orchestrating the whole thing as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So they go in the wardrobe the first time. That's where they meet the stylist who she's talking about. I can't stand any of his movies. Like
I was tense during this part because I thought it was gonna be something weird. Because I was also like getting kind of like Get Out vibes. Like I thought it was gonna be a weird thing where like if Van said that, she'd be like, "Oh, really?" Like, and it would be like reveal like she's crazy or like he's listening. I really thought that he could maybe hear their conversation. But like when she said, no, it's fine, me either. What I appreciated about this scene is it was acted so well. It was such a real conversation that you would have with a black woman that you do not know, but you kind of feel like you do.
Yeah.
And it was just an ease. Like it was never weird. Like the way what sealed it for me when she was like, girl, she said something like, girl, I'm sorry, I'm just talking. And it's like, let me get to work because I think that they call for her. It's like, that is 45 minutes conversation. Yeah. but she was like, girl, I'm just talking. Like, let me do my job. I'm like, I had had this conversation so many times. Like, you meet up with a Black woman that's like probably very similar to you or has like kind of like the same energy, and you feel like that's my best friend. So I don't know who that woman is, but like if anybody comes for her, it's like, what's your name again?
You have a genuine connection because it's still the sisterhood. At the end of the day, it's the sisterhood. We are the collective Black church. We just are. It's always been that way. United through experience. We know it might be not be the exact same experience, but it's similar enough because we're all seeing the same bullshit go down.
Especially when Van was explaining, like, my friend, told me about this. See, like, I thought I'd get my money up. She says, like, get her bread up or get her money up. And the girl was like, girl, yeah, me too. I mean, it's experience. And they're both like justifying, like, like but we're here. And I'm like, yeah, this is so, I just loved it. I thought it was very, very, very well done. And I kind of wanted to hang out with the other girl. Like, what'd she do? Like, what is her day like? Like, let's go to her house.
It was what also made it like very sisterly is when Shameik, the Shamar Moore character comes in and, she's watching their energy with each other. She's like, oh, yes, it's so familiar.
Van is kind of like she doesn't have a kid with her because he's like obviously flirting with her. She's not really flirting back, but she's not negging him at all. But her daughter's like right there, and kids tend to be like, what about daddy? Like it does seem weird because I was a little confused because either she and Ern are just chilling or she's just chilling. But Ern has made since last season all of these moves like, I'm on a jagged edge tip. Like, let's get married. And Van kind of seems like, I don't know. Like I don't know. I thought that after was it the last episode or the one before that, they really seemed together. Like, remember when he said, I would never let you end up like the exes, like that are lost in such and such. I kind of took that as, okay, that's the most solid that I've thought of them since this show started. But Van just kind of looked like, oh, he could get it. I was like, what is the timeline here?
She's not pressed. I feel like their energy has flipped to a certain extent.
Yeah, we said that last time.
Yeah.
But I thought it had stopped flipping. Like after he said what he said. But then you also pointed out this timeline isn't like any of these episodes could have happened like first, third, second. Like there is no thing where we're calling back to previous up. It isn't totally different episodes like last season, but they are arranged in a way where, the Atlantic Station thing could happen like after this or before this.
She's comfortable. She's able to pursue whatever she wants to pursue. The house that she walks in at the end of the show, that's a nice house. That looks like one of those redone house, probably in like a nice area like Inman Park or Buckhead.
The front part reminded me of your house. Like when she walked in, I was like, oh, even that violet type picture that she had on the wall, it was like painted like a purple flower. I was like, why is this the front of Mickey's house? Like I could tell it to me, it didn't look like a big old house. It didn't look little, but it looked like a regular nice house. Like
it looked like a nice house. It was not their apartment. The apartment that she's.
Oh no, it definitely wasn't the apartment. No. You can see hardwood floors and like, but the way that it looks, and to me, because like you can kind of see like she had a porch. I'm like, is this on? Well, I don't want to say the name of the street, but like, you know how I say the name of your street. Like, is this on that road?
Yeah, it's on that same street. It had that vibe. It had that. I live in Metro Atlanta, and I commute into the city. Yeah. So there, she's comfortable. Whatever state their relationship is, she's comfortable. So why?
He's taking care of his child, which is of course you too.
Yeah. So
it's like, you want the child to be taken care of? I have her the majority of the time. You're taking care of me too.
Yeah.
So
I mean, and no man should even question the need to do that. They want their child.
Like you're going to be like, all this money is for you. I don't have anything, but I'm the one that drives you. It's like, no, that means that gas is going to go into the car, and plus he is showing he also kind of has like something to prove, and she's not asking him to. But like we talked about this last time, it has flipped to where he's like, "This is what I want. I am being vocal," and the other person's like a question mark.
And she was holding him down.
She was.
Yes.
So she deserves it. Like I'm all for this.
Yeah. I'm for it too.
Money, people say like money isn't everything, but when you don't have it and then you have it, money fixes a lot of shit. It can even fix your attitude as a man to chill out because you don't have that pressure. Mm-hmm. And not that this doesn't happen to women, but just speaking specifically about earn, when you know that whatever comes up, it's not going to derail you. Like for a month, you can be chill. Like, all right, I'm gonna let her figure it out. But I know that whatever comes, I am able to do this. That is a good feeling. Yeah. And so that takes the urgency and the pressedness out of you being like, we must define this because he got it and he knows it. These lines. Just thinking about the fact that Mr. Chocolate is writing all of these. I just pause it and the captions are on. And it's like, yeah, this sounds like only one person writes. Like there's no second set of eyes. There's no nothing. There's no workshopping.
Yeah, but he's not just
little thought friends over there think.
Yeah, if I don't stand with him, no one will. Like, what? Like, no. Problematic, mean man just walked in.
And he's dark skinned.
Yeah, and then what she says, she's like, a woman has needs and boundaries. I'm like, bitch, what does that have to do with anything that's going on?
It doesn't, because he just takes platitudes. Something will happen. It could be like a kid getting bullied, and then the teacher, I can do bad all by myself. What scene are you in? He's just taking things that will make the people watching it say, whether it fits or not. A woman does have needs and boundaries, but right now, this doesn't make any sense. But it's true, though. It goes in. Print.
Even you know that when she messed up her hair, like mess up her damn hair. What are you doing?
Like this. So that was funny because that girl, Mikey, is super stressed. She didn't mess it up enough, but then also it showed me how the woman can never just be together. Like she's like a certain type of woman. Like she's not super light skinned, like with the good hair, because they don't ever look messed up. And they will be literally getting beat in the face with like a football helmet, but they look fine. If you're a little brown skin, you always have to look like
toe back. Like
you can do bad all by yourself, and you are. Yes. We believe you. We can. Yes. Yeah, he's awful. He is awful. But like she goes and she goes, but just the way that he just speaks and do it again. It's like, come downstairs. This was so well done. This was like live action Boondocks. It was wonderful.
Yes. And I linked to episode. Yes. The episode I'm referring to on the Boondocks is the one episode where they're totally lampooning Tyler Perry, and it is nowhere on network television anymore. It has been wiped.
Because Tyler Perry is the Don. That shit is gone. We will never see it again. I mean, the little Magruder boy. I'm not convinced that he's still alive.
Aaron Magruder?
Tyler Perry is powerful.
Yeah, so he is powerful.
I'm not convinced that, he's totally alive.
Yeah, but he's a billionaire. He got enough money to have people like wiped out and stuff. So
Meghan Markle and Prince Harry stayed at his house when they have nowhere to go. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
You never watched. Okay. Remember when you were like texting me like, oh my God, it appears that Meghan like went this whole, and I was like, yeah, you didn't know that. Like there was this whole primetime Oprah interview where she detailed how immediately her license was taken from her like just how dehumanizing it is. And they revealed in that interview that when they left, because it was kind of hasty, they stayed at Tyler Perry's house for a while. And I was like, how are they even hooked up?
Well, she does work in
positioning himself. No, I think he contacted them. He's Tyler Perry. Even if you think your shit is trash, you're gonna answer the phone because he stepped in with something else. Something else happened with somebody else before, and they were like, "Oh, I stayed at Tyler Perry's house," and I'm like, "Is this dude trying to become like the Iyanla of just like celebrities in crisis?" Because it was the same situation, and I can't put my finger on what it is, but it was again him being involved in something with people where you wouldn't connect those dots other than just they're all rich people.
That's
but
why
I stayed in his house for a little while.
That's why I found it funny when he said, "Oh, Steve Jobs had this piano made for me." Like, you got a relationship with Steve Jobs?
That's what I'm saying. But I think that was very purposeful. Like, we're not surprised that you kind of know these people, but because y'all all are rich, but it still doesn't seem like you would orbit in the same. But then, of course, you do.
Mm.
But I think he does that. Like when you know how when you get to a certain status, you can get anybody's number.
Yeah.
And even if the people are like, "Oh, he makes trash movies," they still see you for what you're doing, and they're gonna take your call. Like that's what I see it as. Like Bill Gates might be like, "I've never seen a Medea play in my life, but I know that whatever it is he's talking about is gonna probably make me more money, or at least open up a new sector of whatever to me." Like they made all that money for a reason.
Yeah.
So
he has clearly. I mean, it's like he has the Black audience in a hostage situation, much like this episode. So. It does. Okay, so then what happens? During this scene, Lottie says, "Shut up."
Shut up.
Yeah.
To the stupid dude.
And so Mr. Chocolate thinks it's amazing and recruits Lottie right away. And, thinking back, maybe Lottie asked to go with her mommy on set because she was, she was fully engaged in everything. She
was enjoying herself.
She wasn't enjoying herself. So
the actress is adorable.
Yeah, she is cute. And I believe that she was Van and Ern's child. That was a good casting.
And at the beginning, now this is random, but her face is shaped like the actor that plays Ern's dad. I could believe that that's her grandfather.
Oh,
he looks like that man. Like, they have like different coloring, but like just the way her face looks like kind of like round. He has like a very round, we talked about him last time, face. Yeah. I could see that being like, oh, that's my grandfather. And if you look at Donald Glover and Zazie Beetz and put them together, like that's pretty, because she's got features. Like that was very, very good casting. And this little actress is really, really good. Like she just came off like a regular kid. She came off like somebody that's not an industry kid yet. Like she's normal, she's regular, but she was just so comfortable. But the thing I thought was funny about the scene was that Mr. Chocolate recruits her, but he doesn't bother tell her to take the visitor's tag off. She's just in this house with a tag of this visitor. There was nothing there. And you could tell that the other people probably noticed it. But right after this part is where she says something to him and he was like, "Don't worry, we'll fix it in post." And she said, "Sir, the post department has been begging for us to fix it in pre," because it is common knowledge that when you watch his stuff, it's like, man, y'all didn't even do a second take. No, because he's rushing shit. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was a funny little detail. Like, of course he wouldn't take the 0.5 seconds that it takes to take that tag off of her, because who would be in their own house with a visitor's tag standing on the stairs with no context?
Yeah, no context given whatsoever. It really you remember Rudy Ray Moore movies, right? Petey Wheatstraw, The Devil's Son-in-Law, kind of. And Dolomite was
yes.
Okay.
I remember that one, yes.
The Rudy Ray Moore movie, starring Eddie Murphy as Rudy Ray Moore. Have you seen it? It's really good.
No, but I heard really, really good things about it. I just forgot to go look at it.
It is good. Now, when I watched Rudy Ray Moore movies, because the twins had them, they had all of them.
Of course they did.
Yes. I remember seeing Rudy Ray Moore movies in passing with my older siblings and everything, but I didn't know his story. And so telling his story, like, why were there so many filming mistakes in Rudy Ray Moore movies? Because he was shooting shit guerrilla style, and he did not have a sizable budget or whatever, and he was being met with resistance every step of the way, because he was a Black man trying to make movies. And but then, like, people were so hungry for representation, his premieres were just amazing.
Yeah.
And to this day, he's a household name. He made mistakes because He was a poor nigga that didn't know anything about movie making at all.
But he did it.
But he did it. Tyler Perry is like a Rudy Ray Moore that will not admit that he is a Rudy Ray Moore.
Or that knows that people don't care because he for sure has the money.
Yes.
To not make those mistakes.
Exactly.
At the beginning, okay, because this is a man who has experienced homelessness and a host of other traumatic things that he likes to then re-traumatize us with through his work. Mm-hmm. So we get it. I think this refuses to get therapy. And he's like, nope, I'm just going to send everybody else to therapy. Okay, fair. But you have enough money. Not like Rudy Ray Moore. If he had Tyler Perry's money, he would have been like, nah, let's do this again.
Yeah.
We're going to do this right. He has an excuse. Tyler Perry doesn't. And maybe it is that he doesn't want to admit it. Probably because it seems like he refuses to go to any kind of professional development. And if he is, he's not following them niggas' advice at all. But I think that part of it is he knows that people don't give a fuck. They don't care.
They don't.
The people who ride for him are like, they let niggas pick up cameras though. They're still acting like it's Amos and Andy time.
My mom is a Tyler Perry film fan.
Yes, she is. She's an old Black woman. She is. My parents. Now, make that make sense. Make that make sense how y'all have the hangups that you do, but you're not bothered by this 7-foot man with a wig and lives again. The people who you would think would despise him because it ain't Adam and Steve, it's Adam and Eve, but you have no problem with this. That makes no sense. They sit there and watch it. They laugh. Yeah, but really let my brother come home and be like, hallelujah, and like to just do it like, well, it's just like what I like to do sometimes. Are you fucking kidding me? That would be a problem.
Yeah. I don't get it. I remember
make any sense.
I remember being dragged to a Tyler Perry church play one Sunday because we had to wear our extra Sunday best. It was nice to have been in Northern California at a gathering with that many Black people and there wasn't no crazy shit popping off. Because, in California it was codified that only a certain amount of Black people were allowed to gather on certain days and times of the week. At one point, that was law.
They talk about the South.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that was real. So it was nice in 1990, whatever, going to this show and being dressed up and seeing all these other Black people dressed up, and we go to see this show, and it was really annoying because there was too much singing. Think about Tyler Perry musical productions. There's always a compelling story. It's relatable. It's what all the church people gossip about when there's gossip at the church you attend. Those are those same stories. So of course it was entertaining on that level. And then there was all that singing. And then there was this one woman, she was really trying to compete with the male lead. So she was trying to out sing him and like throwing herself on her knees. It's like, yeah, that's not all necessary. Like jacking her body to and fro, like she's having like some sort of like paroxysm or something. It was just no, like she was really trying to out sing the dude, but the dude had the better voice. So she was applaud hungry. All right. She was looking for that applause, that audience approval. She wasn't getting it like the dude was. Yeah. So yeah, that experience sealed my hatred for the actual Tyler Perry production. Do I enjoy that he brings so many Black people together across the country? I do, but look at what we're consuming. It's like, yes, let us all get together for a McDonald's Happy Meal for adults. That's what Tyler
now too.
Mr. Chocolate has put Lottie on. So right. Then she goes back to wardrobe to pick her wardrobe, and that's where she encounters that Christian woman who spouts off that Mark verse about being childlike, which just made my skin crawl. Because like Van is talking about what actually happens in the film industry. It eats children, And this woman is like, well, but the child has joy and you should be open to the happiness and the like, no, lady, shut up.
That irritated me because it just reminds me of like when somebody is like, I didn't ask you, leave me alone. Like I'm dealing, like this is my child. Like I was really like, I was reacting to that as if the lady was talking to me. Like it was a lot.
Yeah, I was upset when she said, well, no one is perfect. And she's like, I'm spiritual. I'm not Christian. I'm spiritual. No one is perfect, bitch. No one asked you in the first place. Anyway.
Something else that I noticed that they kept saying, did you notice how he would be like, excellent, excellent. And they kept saying, that was just a blocking scene, sir. That wasn't recorded.
Well, then he said, we'll fix it in post. We kept saying, we'll fix it in post.
There's nothing to fix it. Like, went past the scene where she said something about Lottie and he was like, we'll fix it in post. She's like, sir. And I don't even know if fixing it in pre is a real thing, but she was like, sir, the post department is begging us to fix it in pre. Like, stop sending us all this shit to fix in post. Like, that let me know, like, whoever's in post is like, will this motherfucker just do something again and like lessen our workload a little bit? All of your shit is basically made in post. Like, nothing is done in
pre. Seeing the evidence of that.
Right. And I'm like, is that a real term? Pre? So, did it make that up?
So all of this work ethic, what is it actually producing? If he's not even...
And also, you're not doing the work. Other people. No.
Yeah. He's sitting at a piano and fixing grits. Anyway, and I cannot wait to get to that scene. All right. So then Lottie comes back out and there's that scene where they crack up the older black man, and I guess he was the gauge for how successful the scene was. But the door didn't close.
Who he was. That's who loves him, though. I was like, the old yuck black man. That cracked me up, but it made me laugh. But it was very, very clever. Like he's just showing, like, and this is who I'm targeting. People who don't care that she still has on the visitor sticker. People who don't care that things are not making sense. I want to see the scene where somebody's watching all of these shows and being like, why does little girl got the same outfit on and all of these things? Like, oh, she would just walk to the next. He didn't change anything. She had a little jean jacket on and everything with different kitty mamas.
But the mom was eating a crack sandwich, and I was just like, yo, if she got enough crack to put on a sandwich, is she really struggling? Because crack is expensive.
And I'm just like, oh my God.
The conversation that the beautician has with Vanessa, where
that was the beautician. That was the other mom, wasn't it? That was practicing with her daughter in the front.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she had straight hair, and then she's like, "That's why we got to stick together." Because she's basically saying like, her daughter is not his type. I took it to mean because she was dark skinned.
Yeah, it seemed like the light skin, dark skin thing, which is why I noted like, do all Tyler Perry films feature a light skinned woman who's doing well or who is the star? And I haven't seen enough Tyler Perry films to say that.
I personally feel like he shits on all the women. He shits on women, period. It's like, you hate women. Diary of a Mad Black Woman was what is her name? Who's always in a crisis, do something, John. Is her name Kimberly Elise?
Yes. Yeah.
Her. She's always like, it's my last chance. Like she's in an 8 Mile moment at all times. I only have one shot. It's like, are you ever just okay? Like never. And she's not dark skinned, but she's darker than like, in the other movie, was it Family Reunion, where the people are like you're light skinned and like your hair is flowing, but they're all in shitty situations and they're all kind of stupid. But the darker skinned women, there are more things going, like I said this earlier, where when it's a darker skinned woman, you can see the trauma. Like when he told the chick to go and like mess up the hair, they look desperate. The light skinned women, they're these beautiful, like porcelain looking dolls, but then you find out, oh, every morning he burns her with an iron, but it must be in places where we can't see because she looks great. Yeah. So there is like a difference, but I haven't seen, and I don't watch enough either. I haven't seen where they are elevated more. To me, I don't think he likes women.
I've read Elin Harris's books before I got into any Tyler Perry film, following that musical, the experience. But I'm just like, is Elin Harris and Tyler Perry the same person? Because it seems like
Elin Harris understands like subject verb agreement. I mean, the stuff wasn't good, but it was bad, but still.
But the attitude towards Black women, because every Elin Harris book, of course, the gay men come out on top, you know, because it's him. Tyler Perry, I don't know, like his sexual orientation has been questioned.
He won't admit he's gay, so that's the one way that he's different. There's a lot of lingering shots on these men's bodies while the women are like, I don't know what to do. Oh, well, he ain't hit me as hard yesterday, so maybe things are changing. Oh, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good.
Yeah. But that woman who was talking to her was the woman who was making her daughter
rehearse again. Okay. I wasn't paying attention to the hair. I was just paying attention to the face. Yeah. So anyhow, yeah, that little exchange, and then the way Vanessa's looking at her, like, okay.
She was a little hungry. She put me off.
Yeah, she was scary. She added to that whole get out type of mode. But you know, you do encounter those types in Hollywood.
How much time do you spend here? You know, and then like the little shade, like she said, oh, she's good. Because Van to me is in denial about how much of a natural her child is. Like she just kind of slipped into it, and she's like, well, she's good. She's like, she's okay. You know, and also it could have been a little bit of like, we weren't even here for her. We were here for me. And like, she's like running away with the whole thing. You know, like Van is trying to find herself.
Yeah.
You know, her daughter is just there, you know, and then she's like, I mean, she's okay. She's like, no, she's good. You know, and then she said something like about her getting her own show. And he's like, no. And then she's like, well, she's more her type. And then Van's like, oh, like your daughter should have a show. And she's like, I know. She had this attitude like, oh, I know my child is good. She's not going to get it.
Yeah, if she has spent a lot of time there and this girl could just come on the set one day and just be cast in all of these productions the same day.
He offers her a show, and then he says how many seasons. It's like, yeah, that's something that's usually decided by the network, but he is a network. So he's like 8 seasons. I'm like, wow, you don't hear that. You don't hear people say, I'm going to offer you a show. It's going to be this many seasons. Like, that's not how that works.
It's maddening. Yeah. So I can see why the woman was like, okay, I'm going to align with you. This is my only way to get my child on. But yeah, she was intense. Finds out that Lottie's at the John Witherspoon stage. And this is what cracked me up. When she's asking the intern or whoever, the lady, she was just like, well, I'm in 1 production and 2 musicals or whatever. And
I'm directing 2 pilots and I'm starring in another one.
Yeah. So that, and then when she asked the security guard, he was like, well, I'm actually an intern. And he brings the other lady the coffee. And she's just like, thank you. Like, thank you.
It's like,
it's so cute. But that shit is so spot on. All right. So one of my fellow alumni worked at Tyler Perry Studios.
Oh.
White lady. Like, she was telling us about it years ago. I think she signed an NDA, but it's been several years now. And I'm not saying her name. She worked she was originally hired for marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And then next thing she knew, she was also driving a forklift.
What?
Yeah. So at a certain point, she came into the office and she saw like most of his employees are white men because he has his friend is running the business side of it. And his friend is this white guy from that little town he came from.
Oh.
Yeah. So she said, yeah, there's a lot of white men that work at Tyler Perry.
I remember you telling me that.
Yeah.
I remember you telling me that.
But yeah, she ended up doing all kinds of different jobs. So that was.
Why do people stay? I guess because they need a job.
She said she was making good money, you know, but things were weird. And she'd actually talked to him on the phone at night because he would call her when he wanted her to post something.
Mm.
And so she'd be getting like text messages and calls from this guy, Tyler Perry. And I'm like, okay.
Wow, that's kind of cool. Like, it's like I have my opinions, but I'd be lying if I didn't say that. Like, I kind of want to just experience it for myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just, It's an experience. It's like saying that I've been to the Grand Canyon.
Yeah,
like, yeah, I know exactly what, or like, yes, everything is true. Or I'm one of the writers that he hired. Like, I wrote shit. But it also seems like it would be super easy. Like you could just write mundane, unnecessary dialogue that is not moving the plot forward at all. It's just like, this is what people say when they talk.
Honestly, it sounds like the show, the way the show depicted it. That's what the lady admits. No one knows what's going on. Only Mr. Chocolate knows.
Yeah. And they just have to, like, you can tell that those people have things to contribute and thoughts, but it's like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got bills. Yes, sir.
And that is also authentic to the on-set, movie experience. I've mentioned Ron Popeil before. Yeah. So when we were on set for the actual Set It and Forget It infomercial for the Showtime Rotisserie and Barbecue.
Okay. It's like, I'm still contractually obliged to say it. Why are you being so, like, they will know if you left out a word, like, what, 20 years later?
That's what the fuck it was called. I remember the name.
Shit into you.
Yeah. So when we were on set, he was mean. Ron Popeil was a mean asshole. He was nice to us. He was nice to the extras.
But not to his crew.
No. And like, he would yell, do I have to think about this all by myself? It's like, you also asked them to clear the set. They were trying to put things back in order, but you asked them to clear the set. Now you're mad that things aren't in order when you asked them to clear the set. It was like we were watching like an angry father beat his kids and we were powerless to do anything. It was terrible.
I hate people like that know that they're not giving you the information that you need in order to do a good job, and then they penalize you for it. It's like you're being an unreasonable shithead just to do it. And you know that you can, because the majority of us need this.
Yeah.
That's why we put away all of our faculties and are putting up with shit that our parents would be like, I didn't raise you like this. Like, which also raised me to take care of my bills. And you said that you weren't giving me any more money, so I have to put up with this. So I had a boss like that, where it's like, you know what you're doing. It isn't an oversight. You know what you're doing.
See, that's why I didn't feel so bad about sneaking all through his house. Of course, I snuck all through his house before he was mean to the people on the set, but I had a feeling.
He's like, I know that this nigga about to be mean. I'm about to go in his bathroom. Like, didn't you say you were going to one place and then you went another? Oh, God.
I was supposed to be in the kitchen, but then I went down to his bathroom.
That's like every PI show that I watched as a child in the 80s when they would be doing something. I'm like, no, Jacqueline Smith, get out of there. He's coming. Such anxiety as a third grader. Like, why do they keep doing this? You're going to get caught. You're going to get thrown in the back of a van.
So reckless. My Los Angeles lifestyle was so reckless. Oh,
it was fun, I'm sure. It
was fun.
Shamik, he says, I'm from New Orleans. Don't worry, I still like you. I thought that was funny because New Orleans, Atlanta. And I'm like, they happen to be talking about football. In general, I love Atlanta. Football comes up. Fuck all of you. But I was like, oh, that's cute. And I could see him being from New Orleans because he thinks that Van and Lottie work together. He's like, oh, that's so cool. A mother-daughter team.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, no. But it's like, yeah, Lottie is the star, though.
He walks her over to the John Witherspoon stage, and then she sees her acting, and then she disappears. And that's
but then don't we find out that this dude, she thought he was maintenance, but he's like a coder, which then goes with like what you were just saying about like the different, because they're talking. And then he's like, yeah, I'm a coder. Like he does crypto mining. And he starts to like talk about it. And she's like, wait, what? And she's looking at him and she's like, oh, because he has like a tool belt on. And so he's dressed like Shamar Moore, but he's into crypto.
Okay, but then at the end of the episode, when they show his car, this nigga does maintenance, he does lawn care, and he does cell phone repair.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That like goes to your point about like no one is placed where they should be. It's like, yeah, you have 18 degrees. You are going to answer phones. You got them 18 degrees and you sound smart. Pick up the phone. It's like, okay. And I feel almost like ungrateful in saying this because he has done so much, but that's the dynamic that he's set up to where you feel the need to qualify everything that you're about to say, because what he has done is monumental. But you are running it like a Rudy Ray Moore thing, which I think it was doing that because he had to, right?
Yeah.
So you're making people think of this multi-million, I don't even know how many millions of billions of whatever is running through that studio. And it should be your echelon. It should be where it's like, no, I never was on the lots in Burbank, but it doesn't matter because I was on this Tyler Perry thing. I'm around my people. I am learning, but it's not like that. It has the feeling of, once I work here, I can work anywhere because it's literally it is a gilded sweatshop, right? Mm-hmm. And so this should not be my stepping stone. Your stepping stone should be someplace that is like on Better Call Saul, is like in the back of a nail salon and you're writing, but like that is a stepping stone.
Yeah.
And it has that feel, but it looks like you're on some set in Burbank somewhere, and it shouldn't be. And I wonder if it's like, we're so desperate, or the older people are so desperate and so happy to, see this kind of representation on TV. And just them knowing that Tyler Perry is rich is enough for them. We're a little different. It's like, because you're rich, we expect more. Because you have pull, we expect more. We expect higher quality. So I shouldn't be thinking, I'm going to learn how to be tough and just at least learn the basics at Tyler Perry. That should be my top. I should be like, man, I scored a plum job here at Tyler Perry Studios. He's also developing me to where I can have my own project and maybe still be at Tyler Perry Studios. That's how it should be.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's a little bit of vanity, and it's a little bit of self-hate is strong, but it's also like, I don't have to do that much because Black folks are so desperate. It's like treating us like they treat us. Like we're going to throw you a bone.
It's exploiting the situation. It's exploiting the circumstances. And I guess, I don't know. It seems to me like there was a moment in a lot of Black heroic figures' lives where they decided what they were going to do. One example that I'll give is Medgar Evers' wife, Myrlie Evers. Now, she was married to it. I don't know if she necessarily was totally down for it. She lost her husband, the father of her children, in the front of their own fucking house. Okay.
While they were waiting for him, like that has to fuck you up.
Yes. So I understand. Yeah, you got some baggage. But it seemed to me like at a certain point, and I read her biography. At a certain point, she's just like, you know what? I'm gonna just chill and get this money. Because like I'm powerless to change everything that can be changed. I've done enough. I gave my husband. I'm gonna just get this money. So
yeah, I feel that. I don't really agree with it, but I get it.
I get it too.
That's fine.
Yeah. So, Tyler Perry, we know what we know about his life, but we don't know everything that man has gone through and what he's seen and experienced. This might have been his thing. It's like, look, I did what I had to do to get that money. Like, I'm not going to worry about everything. Like, look, the things that I have done, y'all even said yourself, I've done a lot for us. This is it.
And I get all of that. But I just feel like it doesn't cost anything to just say, you know what? Because I totally get if you don't have the capacity, like you're not interested in trying to make like compelling and nuanced. I get it, because that shit is hard work. And he's probably not a nuanced nigga. He's just not. So it costs nothing. I mean, it does, because you have to pay the person to get somebody that is into that shit. And you're just going to make more money. You're going to get a whole nother sector. You'll get us. There's a lot of us, like smart people who are also like ignorant too. Like we have the capacity to be super ignorant, but we also have enough knowledge to like want to see more. Like, I just don't understand why you would literally tie off another stream.
I get it that he also suffers from what a lot of Black folks, people of color, suffer from. There is a desire for prestige. And maybe that was more of the end goal than anything else. And he got it, and he's not going to give it up. And I can't actually knock him for that either, because it's something that we do. The same reason why some of us will be driving around a Maybach and living in that Maybach.
I can't abide that.
I can't abide it either.
I like nice stuff.
Yeah, but I'm not. I drive a Toyota Camry, but I own my own home. So
yeah, you don't have to live in the Camry.
I'm not living in the Camry, And So I get it. I understand why we want the prestige after all of everything throughout history.
Yeah.
I get it. But I'm also like, I agree with everything that you're saying. The sentiments, I
just don't understand. Like, I am not asking you to become someone that wrote for like the Harvard Lampoon. No, because if that's not true, that's not you. But do you know the people you could usher in and then take credit for? I don't understand that. You could literally take credit.
I'm just asking him to be excellent because I don't think it's a hard thing for us to do.
No, because we are excellent.
Exactly. So I'm asking him to be excellent. And it's almost like, well, I got wealthy from doing the antithesis because that's what these white people expect from us. And that's what we expect from ourselves. Is that what he's saying?
He goes and he acts in other people's well-written shit.
Yeah.
And he does a good job.
Yeah.
I think he can act. But then, so that's for them. But then for us, that's where I get kind of like, we got deep-seated, something is happening here.
Yeah, that's reminding me of some old Booker T. Washington shit. I am not gonna go off on that tangent. She rides over to the next lot. And
it's like, you can't just take people's kids without their permission. That's kidnapping. And then apologizing to her.
So, but yeah, they have a little hint of that conversation, that we're having now. Like, is it right or wrong for Tyler Perry to be Tyler Perry?
Right. And then she's like, you're not gonna be worried when she gets that BET award. And then she's like, one of his scripts has a woman eating a crack sandwich. And then they just like laugh, like she wanted them to be horrified. And then they're like, yeah, Miss Chocolate is wild. And then she was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm letting her do this. I wouldn't even let her watch this. And the other person's like, well, my kids think it's funny. We watch Love After Diagnosis.
Yeah.
So I love his rap musical about,
where the white attorney, the black attorney kills all her
white students. I'm like, was that How to Get Away with Murder? I immediately thought of like, this writer's room must be so fun. And then it says he has 30 NAACP awards. Like,
he does not. I think I'm pretty sure I wanted to link to it, or because I looked up the awards that he's won. He hasn't really won that many, not even from NAA, because they know it's trash.
But of course they're gonna, and then they say what you want. And how many times have we all said this? This conversation was so authentic. Say what you want about Mr. Chonka, but he's done a lot for the community. And then he says, I'm rooting for everybody black. It's like, man, y'all throwing Issa in there, and it's like, this is, to me, he has created this because it's almost like unimpeachable. It is impeachable, but when you say it, people can come like, yeah, but where you live in and where he live in, it's like, it's not always really about that. But it makes it this hard argument. I linked to a clip from Black as Fuck. I don't know if you ever watched that. It's the Kenya Barris show that came out in 2020 on Netflix. That was kind of like semi-autobiographical. And there is an episode. This is actually when this show got good. It's like episode, I don't know, 5 or 7 or something like that. And it's actually Kenya Barris wrestling with this Tyler Perry thing. Tyler Perry is on the episode. As a matter of fact, Issa Rae's on it. Malcolm, your boy that does the Best Man movies, Malcolm something. He does a lot of stuff, but he's like behind all the Best Man movies and the Best Man series that's coming out soon.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It had been Ava DuVernay. It was Issa, Ava, Kenya, Malcolm, and I feel like I'm forgetting somebody else. But he's
Malcolm Lee. Malcolm
Lee, yes. He kind of like calls them like almost like he's in like his media room. So it's almost like he's on a Zoom call, but everybody is like up on this huge screen. And he's because Kenya Barris is like, he's rich as hell, right? Mm-hmm. And so he's talking to them and he's perturbed by the success that Tyler Perry's having. It's either Tyler Perry or it's like a Tyler Perry stand-in. And he's like, but this isn't even good. And like, do we just have to say that we like this because it's Black? Like, why can't we be critical of each other's work?
Yeah.
And whether it's Tyler Perry that he's talking about, like in this fictional thing or not, Tyler Perry comes on the show and basically is like, I know my audience and fuck you. Like, they have like a real conversation. So I linked to that. But he says it in a way where it's like, okay, like he ain't lying. Like at least he's not like pretending to be something else. It's like this is what it is. But then I remember being like, but that's insulting.
Over to the next scene where the crack sandwich is being consumed, and Lottie was like, "Why are we here?"
Like Lord knows I tried.
You know what? We missed the other scene where that woman was like, "I hope you get shot in the theater."
That happened already?
Yeah, that happened before.
Crying. This is what I love. They don't explain like what is he crying for? He's like, oh. Then he stops somebody and looks and she's like, shut up, just stupid ass. Shot in the theater. And it's like, wait, are they positing that it was a black woman that came up with the black girl magic? Bitch, we don't get credit for nothing. But I appreciated that because the Lincoln worship needs to stop. And it reminded me of that stupid plantation scandal type show that was on Insecure. The slave goes, oh, I hate slavery. Oh my God. It's like, you hate slavery?
That's the thing. If Tyler Perry has a movie where Lincoln is crying and some woman tells him to shut the fuck up and she hopes he gets shot in his theater, I need to see that. I definitely want to see that. Okay.
That was amazing.
Yeah. Okay. So then she finally decides to talk to the intercom directly. And she's like, give me my daughter back. And he's just like, no.
Ooh, girl. The feeling that rose up within me. He's like, she's mine now? Or something.
Yeah.
Like,
I was not okay. And obviously neither was Van. So she marches right over to his office, and encounters the guards outside. Why they both have on purple berets?
He had on a beret. As a matter of fact, remind me to link to, why does he look like Rerun? Like Rerun in his later days? Yeah. That's exactly, it looks like he pulled up a picture of that, not related to any of this. He is dressed exactly like Rerun, but he has a beret on.
Before she sees him in his beret looking like Rerun, and I'm like, Donald Glover, you're funny. This is clearly you. Which
he was having fun.
Yeah. Which makes me wonder, is this a dream sequence, actually? And is he still in his head about taking Lottie to LA, wanting to control the situation so that Lottie is benefiting, but he needs to be in control and Van just needs to go along with it? I'm like, is that what this episode is actually?
Could be.
She encounters the security guards. She encountered the security. Yeah, I got to leave in like 15 minutes. She encounters the security guards with the purple berets, and they're like, oh, she has no clearance. Then the church lady comes up and shoots him in the foot. So I guess she was carrying a gun all the time.
Well, he tells us the reason for that in a few minutes, right?
What? That she
like
got
when he goes through like how he orchestrated, because he ends up calling her a gun-toting grandma like Medea.
Yes.
Set the whole thing up. He was like, you can't afford to feed your daughter. He goes all these things. It's like, that is not true. But they show like
none of it's true. Yes. Okay. She gets inside. He's playing the piano and making grits. And then he offers her a single grit.
Yeah. Would you like a grit? Well, no, I think a grit is what he calls the mug of grits. Like when people say, like, do you want a coffee? He's like, would you like a grit? It gave me Teddy Perkins vibes.
Yes, definitely.
The Usher jig.
Yes.
I'm like, so he's doing it again. And that's what made me think like, no, this isn't a dream. I feel like it's just the show. Like they're just doing this again, except not even trying to hide. Because with Teddy Perkins, it's like, oh my God, that's Donald Glover. Like he was really losing him. It was serious. Like he was being another character. And with this, it's like, as soon as he turned around, I was like, oh my God.
But when he stops and he's like, have her say, because I'm pregnant. This is a children's show. Thanks.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
His explanation
doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
I would say I'm pregnant.
He doesn't care. And so then Van, she has it out with him and she tells him, she says, you're a con man, who makes this unrelatable content. And then to your point, that's when he goes back through her day and he has completely made up this entire scenario to say, well, this actually is more relatable to reality. And he does have a point, even though he has orchestrated the entire thing and it's completely made up. It does reflect situations that are indeed going on in the
that happened. And that's what makes him so maddening. But it's just funny how he just like made all this and it's like, that is not true about Van. She can't take care of her daughter. But then I was like, oh, she's the light-skinned woman. He's the dude with the white beater, and then earlier, I guess the dark-skinned dude who was very aggressive, who she lied to, that's the dark-skinned guy, I guess. It was really funny.
Or your baby daddy is dark-skinned. No, he's...
But I like how she's like, he's brown-skinned. It's like, yeah. That was funny because it was funny because then I just started to see it as Donald Glover and Zazie Beetz, like when she throws the grits and she like Al Green's and he says, I'm fine. And I'm just like, I know they had to do this. I know they had to have more than one take for this.
Like, give me a medic. I'm breathing profusely. I've lost a lot of blood.
Because he's been standing there and she's just like, I've lost a lot of blood. I'm like, oh, Donald Glover is hilarious. Oh my God, this episode was so good.
Yes.
Let's see here.
So then what happens? There's a resolution. She takes Lottie back home. Lottie actually did want to take the offer.
Lottie has a fit.
Yeah, she has a fit.
She feels a little guilty.
Yeah. But she takes her back home knowing damn well that she did the right thing. Lottie did not need to be involved in that. So where does Lottie disappear off to? She go in a room or something? I don't know.
I think she just like walks off.
Okay, so she walks off and then Van stands up and that's when we see Shamik Curtis's card.
Yes. I was like, yeah, that ain't from New Orleans. Like, let's have sex in the boiler. Well, it's just like, wait, what? You talk about all this coding and crypto, like looking like somebody that's like, okay, you got like something else going on. Yeah. And then it's like, let's have sex in the boiler room. And then how often do you do this, Shimmy?
Like HIV is real. It is real. So, okay, let's go through our elements and then.
Yes. You're That So Atlanta.
Okay. So yes, Atlanta is very much Black Hollywood now. And Tyler Perry Studios has been a driving force in making it a Black Hollywood. I also thought it was cute the way Anita Baker was playing on the radio, because you're gonna be driving around if you're listening to a light rock or a light soul, retro soul or retro R&B station. You're gonna hear Anita Baker.
Or Encore, as we discussed that greatly in past.
Yes. Your love.
Okay. I had the same thing. But I just said Kirkwood Chocolate Studios, like just the whole thing. Everybody's a writer, everybody's an actor, everybody has touched Tyler Perry Studios at some point in some way. No Dariusism. Yeah. Although I really think they missed an opportunity of just having Darius just in the background for some reason working at the studios, because of course he would. Just like walking through the background and not acknowledging it at all. I think that would have been perfect.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna be on set for this one production because I have
like I've done maintenance here for years.
Yes.
What? Like, of course you have. Mystical realism.
Of course I had the entire chocolate studio lot, because like, where is this place? What is happening? Why doesn't anybody know what's going on? It's his child. It's his child. It's his creation, but he doesn't control it. Like, what?
Or just how quickly she kept disappearing. Like when Van finally found her and then the scene ended and then she was like, where's Lottie? Like she was just gone.
Yeah. But so was everybody else.
Yeah, that was frightening to me though too. Like at the same time, I'm just like, because I'm thinking about like all the people that are like, oh my God, your child has this personality, you need it. And I'm just like, But I feel like if she wants to do the she can get prepared and be in classes, but I'm not throwing her into that right now because I'm a drone mom. And if you tell me I can't come somewhere, I'm setting your set on fire. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be like one of these people. But anyway, mine, just the whole scene with Mr. Chocolate, like when we finally meet him, the Teddy Perkins vibe, just from the weird food that he offered her to even though he wasn't recording it. Like, remember how last time he was like doing these weird recordings himself? Well, this time he said, he picked up something and said, have her say she's pregnant. And it wasn't a recording, but it was the same thing. Like, it was just weird. All the dot matrix printer paper that was everywhere. Like, why are you using this kind of printer? Like, move on from where you used to. You don't have to survive anymore. But anyway.
It was coming out of the piano that Steve Jobs created for him.
The piano is making me mad. Your SGR moment.
When the mom was talking about sticking together, she seemed like she was in a desperate situation. I want my child to get on. I will ally with you. And she was really reflecting the reality of Black television, or breaking into, it should not be that way. Like, did we talk about last week or week before last? They're creating avatars of us because the Black aesthetic is hot, but Black actresses, Black models, can't get work. That doesn't make any sense.
It also makes me wonder, because she's way more of a stage mom than Van is, because Van was there for herself and it just turned into, her being like Lottie's manager. But it makes me wonder, like, is this woman so desperate because of, like the economy for Black people that she will parent less? Because we know things that can happen. Those are the parents. I don't think those kinds of parents start off as bad people. They start off wanting to just be okay financially. And then, I'm sorry, you turn into a bad person where you are willing to compromise your child in order to keep up the lifestyle that you've become accustomed to. And instead of taking the money and investing it well for yourself and your child, you are willing to put them in situations where, no, they shouldn't go with that producer over there because
his parents.
Yeah, like that happens, unfortunately a lot. But like, you pick up on the fact that she's a stage mom, like just from how they're practicing in the lobby. Not that that makes you bad, but she needs this. Whereas Lottie looks like she's choosing it for herself, and it just makes you wonder about that other little girl. Like, are you there? Yeah. Like, would you choose to be here? Or are you here because that's your mom and you're going to listen to your mama?
Yeah. Is that child okay?
Mine was the other mom, like when she said, like, we need to stick together, and just like you just said, just that whole thing is very real. And also, just as a parent, when Van couldn't find Lottie, that feeling is awful, and it gave me that heightened thing of like, is this a get out? Like, what's happening here? Like, it's very strange. What's going to happen to Lottie? And just that feeling, like Van kind of waking up to like where she is, and like, maybe you shouldn't have bought her, or you should have bought her there, but. Like you said, maybe Lottie's smart. Maybe she already knows what she wants to do and wanted to be there and like wanted that to happen.
Yeah, maybe she has to go, and she
could have told her to shut up to get the attention. Like, she's not a dumb child. We learned a while ago, like Lottie's very smart. So, and girls are crafty. Sorry.
Yeah.
I liked what he said. She can't be not 18 forever. Like, he's like, it was funny, but it was also menacing. It was very scary. Like, this is exactly why she doesn't want her there. Like, having a little girl who's cute, some of the things that people say that they think are compliments, but it already shows, like, why are you already thinking of her in the future? Why can't you tell me that my kid is cute and keep it moving? When men come up to me and say, she gonna be a mess, I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like
babies too. That has happened to me so often.
What I've gotten with the boys is people telling me and thinking it's okay to tell me, oh, we're gonna have to kidnap your kids. They're so cute. Like,
oh, they do that. That crosses gender lines. When I have a little baby, it's like, you do realize that people kidnap babies. Oh, I just want to take her, and I don't know you. I don't like it when somebody, like, even in my family, says it.
Yeah.
But at least there's still a little bit of like, bitch, I know where you. But it's like, you're a random in the checkout and you're like, oh my God. And it's also that way that you're in public with them. You got to do other things. So you can't really stand in front of them like you want to. Cause I'm also putting my groceries on a thing. She's in the front part of the basket. You're right there. And it's like,
I don't like it.
This is why I'm crazy now, because people are insane.
And it's weird that people who have kids say that to other parents. Like, are you mad? Okay, that's the episode.
That is our episode.
Thank you for watching. Rappin' Atlanta is recorded and produced by Nita Charisse and Nikki Ibo. Our theme music is Joy Clark's Galaxy Groove, performed by Joy Clark. Discover more about this talented artist at joyclarkmusic.com. Rappin' Atlanta's artwork is created by Prime Vice Studios. Learn more about this intellectual property development agency at primevice.com. You can find us on your favorite podcast player as well as YouTube. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and follow Rappin' Atlanta on Twitter and Instagram at Rappin' Atlanta.